we'll start. So today I have told you that I'm going to be starting the third term syllabus. So we'll be starting from the drama The Bear by Anton Chekhov. I hope that you have taken the cue from Dinuma. Right, The Bear by Anton Chekhov, translated by Julius West. So that is not important. Okay, so we would start. Now, before we move on to the drama, we have to discuss about the importance of the title and the setting for the time period of this particular drama, as well as we have to discuss what sort of a drama this is. Name of drama drama a drama setting ඊට පස්සේ we have to discuss about the characters. After discussing these things, we can go back to the drama. Okay. First of all, we would discuss about the title, The Bear. Now, when you hear the word bear, what comes to your mind? What are the characteristics of a bear that comes to your mind? Yes? When we think of a bear, what characteristics? Oh, no answers are given. Dangerous, Pavani says dangerous. Cruel, Deva, okay. What else? Only dangerous and cruel. Is he strong? A bear? Strong Ava. Deva like to eat a lot of food. Okay. Sachinda says power. Good. Power, strength, cruelty. Those kinds of things comes to our mind. Good. Now, here we have to discuss why this writer has used this particular title. Now, you have told me that bear means cruel and dangerous, strong qualities. When we consider about a drama, we have to understand why the playwright had used this particular title. When we think about that, Anton Chekhov has used this particular title to this drama because all the characteristics that you have mentioned about a bear, the bear characteristics, those characteristics can be seen in both the main characters of this drama. Main drama, okay? Wait, so here we have been talking about the characters. So all the characteristics, or almost all the characteristics of a bear can be seen in the two main characters. Right? So you can see Popova and Smirnov as the two main characters in this drama. And when we think of Smirnov and Popova, you can see that both become dangerous and both become aggressive. Aggressive kalahakari kiyanne. Bears also are like that, no? So they become aggressive and they become angry real quickly. They are uncontrollable. So those sorts of qualities can be seen in a bear as well as in these two main characters, right? That is why the writer has used that particular title to discuss about these two characters. Main characters, and there is another character also that is called Luca. and Luca is considered as a servant. He's a servant of Popova. Popova's servant කෙනෙක්. දැන් ඔන්න ටයිටල් එකේ වැදගත්කම දැක්කා. ඇයි ඒ? ටයිටල් එක මේක දාලා තියෙන්නේ ඒකේ ඉන්නේ characters උත් ඒ වගේ නිසා. Now we have to talk about Anton Chekhov. Even though the last letter is V, it is pronounced as F. F අකුරේ තමයි pronounce කරන්නේ. Anton Chekhov. It's not Anton Chekhov, it's Anton Chekhov, right? F. So when we think of Anton Chekhov, he is one of the most popular dramatists in Russian literature. Russian සාහිත්‍ය, රුසියානු සාහිත්‍යයේ ඉන්න ප්‍රබලම, ප්‍රසිද්ධම dramatist කෙනෙක්. මොනවාද? playwright. dramas ලියපු කෙනෙක්. හරි? And The Bear, this particular drama is sort of one of his lesser known dramas. අඩුවෙන් කට්ටිය දන්න මේක එච්චර popular එකක් නෙමෙයි because this is a one act farce. මම ඒක පස්සේ කියලා දෙන්නම්. And here පුතා, when we discuss about the setting of the drama එකේ setting එක ගැන කතා කරනකොට this drama happened during the period of Tsar කියන dynasty එක. Tsar කියන රජ පවුල රුසියාව පාලනය කරන කාලේ. Now you know that Russia is a socialist country, no? A socialist country. සමාජවාදී රටක් නේ. But before that, Russia was ruled by a dynasty called Tsar. Tsar කියන dynasty එක තමයි රුසියාව පාලනය කරේ. Give me a second. Okay, so the dynasty is called as Tsar. Sorry, this was the dynasty, and during this period, the highest position of the society was there to the king, and then they had the aristocrats. Aristocrats කියලා කියන්නේ වංශාධිපතුන් කියන්නේ. අන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ. හරි, aristocrats. And then there were tenant farmers. So even though farmers were the people who cultivated the land එක cultivate කරේ farmers ලා වුණාට they did not own any land. හරි, ඒගොල්ලන්ට land එකක් ownership එකක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. All the lands were owned by the royal family and these aristocrats. Royal family එකයි aristocrats ලා තමයි මොනවාද මේ ඔක්කොම land වල අයිතිකාරයෝ. හරි, එතකොට tenant farmers ලා එහෙම නැත්නම් slaves ලා කිසිම land එකක් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඔන්න ඉගෙන ගන්න. You have to learn these things about Russian history. And you know that these tenant farmers were living a really helpless life. These tenant farmers, they were living a really helpless life because they did not own any land. So if they cultivated, let's say, wheat, most part of that wheat should be given to the aristocrats. And even though tenant farmers are the people who does all the work, they get a very small amount of the harvest. So that is very unfair. And what happened during Russian Revolution is that, have you heard of Russian Revolution? රුසියානු විප්ලවය ගැන අහලා තියෙනවද? අහලා තියෙනවනම් අතුසන් බලන්න. If you have read about Russian Revolution or if you have even heard about Russian Revolution, දැන් අපි ලෝක ඉතිහාසය ගැන කතා කරනකොට when we talk about the world history, there are very famous revolutions. ගොඩක් ප්‍රසිද්ධ revolutions තියෙනවා. විප්ලව තියෙනවා. One is Russian Revolution. රුසියානු විප්ලවය කියලා කියන්නේ එකක්. ඒකේ මොකද උනේ? tenant farmers ලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ noblemen ඇරිස්ටොක්‍රට්ස් ලට සහ රජතුමාට විරුද්ධව නැගී සිටියා. හරි? ඊට පස්සේ another very famous revolution is called the French Revolution. French Revolution, ප්‍රංශ විප්ලවය. ප්‍රංශ විප්ලවය උනේ ordinary people have acted against Louis dynasty. Then මොනවාද මේ රුසියාවේ Tsar dynasty එක පාලනය කරා වගේ ප්‍රංශ පාලනය කරේ ලුයි කියන dynasty එක. හරි ලුයි රජපෞල. And there also the ordinary people had suffered a lot. ගොඩක් suffer කරා. සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සු. ඒක නිසා ප්‍රංශ විප්ලවයේදී මොකද වුනේ? අර සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සු ලුයි රජපෞලට එරෙහිව සටන් වැදලා ඒ ලුයි රජපෞල කට්ටියව මරනවා. ඒක තමයි ප්‍රංශ විප්ලවය කියලා. කියන්නේ ලුයි රජපෞල සහ ඒ හිටපු වංශාධිපතියෝ. රුසියාව නෙමෙයි ප්‍රංශයට හිටපු වංශාධිපතියෝ මරනවා. තව ප්‍රසිද්ධ එකක් තමයි ඇමරිකන් රෙවොලූෂන්. ඇමරිකානු විප්ලවය. ඇමරිකානු විප්ලවයේදී වෙන්නේ ස්ලේව්ස්ලා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ වහල්ලුන්ට නිදහස ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා කළු ජාතිකයෝ සුදු ජාතිකයන්ට එරෙහිව සටන් වදිනවා. හරි එතකොට these are the most famous revolutions in the world. ඔය තමයි ලෝකයේ ප්‍රසිද්ධම විප්ලව. And when we think of this particular drama was set before this Russian revolution. රුසියානු විප්ලවයට පෙර තමයි මේ ඩ්‍රාමා එක තියෙන්නේ. Therefore, in this drama, you have aristocrats and you have servants. Those kinds of people can be seen in this drama because the setting of the drama is pre-revolutionary Russia. විප්ලවයට පෙර රුසියාව. තමයි මේකේ පේන්නේ. ඒක තේරුණාද? Those who understood about the setting, raise your hands. Setting එක තේරුණා නම් අත උස්සන්න. කොයි කාලෙද මේක තිබ්බේ කියන එක තේරුණා නම් අත උස්සන්න. හරි චමෝද්‍යා ප්‍රවීන් and මලීෂා තුන්දෙනෙක්ට මම ආයෙ කියන්න පුතේ. දැන් රුසියානු විප්ලවය කියලා එකක් තිබුණානේ. ඒ රුසියානු විප්ලවයේදී සිද්ධ වුණේ ගොවියෝ. හරි ගොවියෝ නැගී හිටියා වංශාධිපතීන් සහ තමන්ගේ රජ පවුලට එරෙහිව. ඒකනේ අර මේ රුසියානු කොඩිය තියෙන්නේ දෑකැත්තයි මිටියයිනේ තියෙන රුසියානු කොඩියේ දෑකැත්තයි මිටියයි තමයි රුසියානු කොඩියේ තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි මෙතනදී අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ විප්ලවය ගැන නෙවෙයි. මෙතනදී අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ විප්ලවයට පෙර සමාජය පිළිබඳව. ඒක තමයි බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ්. විප්ලවයට පෙර සමාජය. ඒක නිසා මේකේ අපිට ඉන්නවා වංශාධිපතියෝ. ලෑන්ඩ් ඕනර්ස්ලා. ඇරිස්ටොක්‍රට්ස් and ලෑන්ඩ් ඕනර්ස් අපිට මේකේ ඉන්නවා. ඒ වගේම අපිට සර්වන්ට්ස්ලාත් ඉන්නවා. ස්ලේව්ස්ලාත් ඉන්නවා. හරි සර්වන්ට්ස්ලායි වංශාධිපතියෝ කියන චරිත දෙගොල්ලම ඉන්නවා අපිට මේ ස්ටෝරි එකේ. ඇයි ඒ ස්ටෝරි එක බේස් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ විප්ලවයට පෙර රුසියාවේ නිසා. දැන් තේරුණාද ප්‍රවීන් මලීෂා and චමෝද්‍යා? ප්‍රවීන් හරි චමෝද්‍යා හරි මලීෂා තාමත් මලීෂා තේරුණා නැද්ද පුතේ? තවම ආයි කියලා දෙන්න තේරුණ නැත්නම් ආයි කියලා දෙන්න. හරි තේරුණානේ. Okay. Then I will lower your hands. So here we have to talk about the setting, overall setting. Overall setting is pre-revolutionary Russia. Overall setting is pre-revolutionary Russia. Okay, then I have told you that this drama is considered as a one act farce. One act farce. This is considered as a one act farce. So the act usually in dramas you have several acts. ගොඩක් acts තියෙනවා එක drama එකක. ඒ කියන්නේ drama එක කොයි තැනද සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියන එක. සමහර dramas තියෙනවා දැන් අපි මොකද එක drama එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලන් අහලා තියෙන I don't know whether you have heard these things. But still ඔතෙලෝ කියන drama එක ගත්තොත් එහෙම විලියම් ෂේක්ස්පියර්ගේ ඒකේ එකක් තියෙනවා බ්‍රබන්ෂෝ කියන පුද්ගලයාගේ ගෙදර ගාව. එතකොට ඒක එක ඇක්ට් එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ එකක් තියෙනවා මොනවාද මේ ඩියුක්ගේ කෝට් රූම් එකේදී. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ මොනවාද උසාවි සංකීර්ණයේදී. ඊට පස්සේ තව එකක් තියෙනවා සයිප්‍රස් වල. ඒ කියන්නේ එක එක තැන්වල තමයි මේව සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. එතකොට එක එක තැන්වල සිද්ධ වෙනකොට ඒවා එක එක ඇක්ට්ස් විදිහට තමයි එන්නේ. But here in this drama you have only one act. එක තැනක තමයි මේක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. පොපෝ වගේ ගී ඇතුලේ තමයි මේ ඔක්කොම සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. Because of that this is a one act. There is only one act. And now we have to talk about a farce. Right? Farce means a drama where you have improbable, exaggerated, absurd situations. farce එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ අර hina යන exaggerate කරපු absurd situations තියෙන improbable situations තියෙන drama එකක්. That is what we mean by a farce. Here in this drama you can see that this person Smirnov is when he touches chairs, the chairs they just get broken. Right? And when we consider about Popova has been inside a house for 7 whole months. ගෙදරින් එළියටවත් බහින්නේ නැතුව මාස 7ක් ගේ ඇතුළට වෙලා ඉන්නවා. So those kinds of things are quite improbable. They are kind of unbelievable situations. They are exaggerated situations. So if there are these kinds of exaggerated, improbable, absurd and comic situations in a drama, it is called a farce. Realistic dramas නෙවෙයි මේවා ටිකක් unrealistic dramas. හරි? All the things which are happening in the drama, sometimes these situations are not probable. We can't believe these situations. Unbelievable situations are there. So those sorts of dramas are called as farce. එහෙම dramas තමයි farce එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. Now those who have understood what a farce means, raise your hands. හරි අපිට ඉන්නවා කැලුම්. හරි කැලුම් ෆාස් එක කියලා කියන්න පුතේ මොනවා හරි ඩ්‍රාමා එකක අපිට විශ්වාස කරන්න බැරි. එහෙම නැත්නම් සිද්ධ වෙයි කියලා හිතන්න බැරි. අතිශයෝක්තිය සහිතව දේවල් විස්තර කරනවා නම් සිටුේෂන්ස් තියෙනවා නම් අපි ඒකට කියනවා ෆාස් එකක් කියලා. හරිද දැන් තේරුණාද කැලුම්? කැලුම්ගේ මයික් එක වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒක වැඩ කරන්නට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. හරි පුතේ ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙ තවත් තේරුම් නැත්නම් මට කියන්න. හරි. So I'm going to lower your hand Praveen. Hari බලමු. So here farce means a drama there are improbable, exaggerated, absurd, and comic incidents a drama where there are improbable, exaggerated, absurd and comic incidents. A drama where there are improbable, exaggerated, absurd and comic incidents. That is called a farce. Farce and this drama, the bear, is considered as a farce. Okay, and then when we think of a bear, you have told me that there are several qualities. There are qualities like getting angry very quickly, dangerous and strong and aggressive and dominant. Those sorts of things can be seen, and even in these characters, we can see these qualities. මේ characters වලත් තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි අර title එකට බෙදාගෙන අපි කතා කරන්නේ. එතකොට through this particular drama, the writer Anton Chekhov is trying to talk about weaknesses of the people in Russian society. And Russian society ki hitapu manusyange weaknesses. Here we can see that these people are pretentious and these people are sort of unfaithful and they are hypocritic and they are ill-mannered. Right? So there are so many other qualities of people, and all these qualities, all these bad qualities are criticized by the writer here. Right? So using the character of Popova and Smirnov, we can see weaknesses of people, not only of these aristocratic people, but also in all the human beings. When we think about our villages, when we think about ourselves, sometimes we also have these weaknesses. හරි සමහරවිට අපිටත් මේ weaknesses තියෙනවා. මේ කතා කරන weaknesses, sometimes we also have them. And the writer is criticizing, or the writer is kind of laughing at these weaknesses, right? And now if we consider about the characters who are seen here, first of all, we have Elena Ivanovna Popova. That is the first character. When you write your answers, you don't have to write this full name. Full name that is not that important. What you have to remember is that the name Popova. Okay, you have to remember the name Popova, Popova. So you don't have to write the full name, just remembering Popova is enough. And when we consider about this Grigory Stepanovich Smirnov, remembering the spelling and remembering the name of Smirnov is enough. Alright? Even though you write part of their name, you won't be penalized for that. ඒකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ punish කරන්නේ. Popova and Smirnov තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් හැම කෙනාම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Please remember that. Huh? Okay, now if we consider about these characters, a character introduction is given. There is an introduction given to the characters. And first of all, we have Popova. Right, we have Popova, and a characteristic, an introduction about Popova is given. Introduction. It says, a land-owning little widow. A land-owning. Now, which social class does Popova belong to? Is she an aristocrat or is she a servant? Landowning. If she belongs to the, if she has land, is she an aristocrat or is she just an ordinary farmer or a servant? Yes, an aristocrat. Isurika and Sachindra, your answers are correct. She is an aristocrat, right? So she belongs to the landowning class, landowning higher class. Cocoa belongs to the landowning upper class. Upper class of the society. Okay, now here one of the characteristics of cocoa, or one of the introductory parts of cocoa can be seen. Landowning upper class. And then we have landowning little widow. Widow means who is a widow, Puta? Who is a widow? Kian balan widow ken kawdike? Who is a widow? Anybody who knows the answer? No one. Widow means a wife whose husband is dead. Then kawdike? A woman whose husband is dead. Singaling api mokada kiyanne? Vandabu. Yes. Widow means Vandabu. Now here we can see that cocoa is a woman whose husband is dead. Cocoa is a woman whose husband is dead. And here you can see an adjective used by the writer. Little widow. So, widow. Little widow. So, when we look at this word little, what can we understand about cocoa? Is she a young person or is she an old person? Or is she like a dwarf? Little widow what is presented? Okay, several people are giving answers. Young, Malishakino young, Deva young, Prabhashi, Chamodya, Isurika, Pavani, Gihan, Dilan, Senumi, yes, young. Correct. Young. Here, little widow suggests that cocoa is a young person. Okay, young. So there, through the word little, we can see that cocoa is a young woman whose husband had died when she was at a very young age. Now you know that this happened a long time ago. So you know that during these times women get married early. When you think of your grandmothers or your great grandmothers, they married at the age of 16, 17. That means a long time ago, like 50, 60 years back. A young woman gets married at the age of 28, 29 when because of education and career and everything. But here when we think of cocoa, she had married at a young age and she had lost her husband at a young age, right? So still she is a young woman. And then it says a landowning little widow with dimples on her cheeks. I think you know the meaning of dimples. Ne dimple කෙනගේ තේරුම දන්නවනේ මොනවද අර කම්මුල වල ගහනවා කියලා කියන්නේ. අන්න ඒක. නේ so Popoa is a woman who has got dimples in her cheek. Now Putha, if a woman has got dimples in her cheek, is she considered as a beautiful woman or is she considered as an ugly woman? කියන්න බලන්න. Yes, now I can see that many of you are sending me answers. If a woman has got dimples in her cheek, she is considered as a beautiful woman. Now, from these two words, what are the two words? Little and dimples on her cheek, we can understand that she is a beautiful woman. Dimples in her cheek, sorry, dimples on her cheek suggests that she is a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. She is a beautiful woman. Okay, this is what we can understand about Popoa. One thing is that she is young, and the second thing is that she is a beautiful woman. So those are the things that we can understand from this introduction of Popoa. And then we come across the second person, second character. Grigory Stepanovich Smirnov. Now I have told you that remembering Smirnov is enough. Now let's see what sort of a character Smirnov is. A middle-aged landowner. Now Popoa is also a land-owning little widow. Popoa is also a landowner and Smirnov is also a landowner. Now when we think about the social status, when we think about their position in society, both are the same. Popoa is also an aristocrat and Smirnov is also an aristocrat. They're non-aristocrats. And when we think about the age of these two people, that is the thing that is contrasting. That is the thing that is different. Popoa is a young person and Smirnov is a middle-aged person. Even though they belong to the same class, they have an age gap. Popoa is young, whereas Smirnov is middle-aged. Popoa can be at the age of 18, 19. So there is a huge age gap between these two characters. So we will write that also down. We'll mention both these characters. Both these characters mean Smirnov and Popoa. Characters Popoa and Smirnov belong to the same social class. But they have a huge age gap. Popoa is young and Smirnov is middle-aged. Okay, and then we have Luca. The next character that we have is Luca. We'll see what sort of a character is he. Popoa's aged footman. Aged means old. Age means old. Popoa's old footman. Footman means servant. Popoa's old servant. Now, Luca's character is introduced here because he also plays a very important role in this drama. Drama important role even though he is not one of the main characters. Main characters are Popova and Smirnov. Actually, Luca is not a main character, but still he plays an important part. Right? He plays an important role as. So we have been discussing about Luca. Luca is the aged footman or the aged servant, the old servant of Popova. And here, Kutha, when I had discussed about or described about the social structure of this particular society, the pre-revolutionary society or pre-revolutionary Russia, I have told you that there were several social classes. First one was royalty. Second one was aristocratic people like Popova and Smirnov. And the third type of people or the third class of people were these tenant farmers and servants like Luca. Right now, please keep in mind that Luca belongs to the lower social classes of the society, right? Because he is sort of a slave and he represents the serfdom. Serfdom is the right? Luca represents serfdom. Right, Luca represents the serfdom in that society. Okay, then we can discuss about the rest of the drama, right? Here it says, Luca Popova's aged footman. Now we have discussed about the three characters. First one is Popova, second one is Smirnov, and the third character is Luca. And out of these three characters, Popova and Smirnov, they are the main characters, and Luca is just an ordinary character, but his role is very important. You have to keep that in mind. And then within brackets you have the general setting of this story. It is a drawing room in Popova's house. Now in Popova's house, this particular scene, this particular incident happens in Popova's drawing room. Right? That is why I have told you that this is one act farce, because the whole drama happens in Popova's drawing room, right? In Popova's house. Therefore, there are no changes which happen in the place. And the place is the same, therefore it can be considered as one act farce, right? Then moving on to within brackets you have a drawing room in Popova's house. That's what we have discussed. And then in the next brackets, within the next brackets you have Popova is in deep mourning. Mourning means that you are feeling sad about the death of a person. That is what we mean by mourning. right? Feeling sad about the death of a person. Feeling sad about the death of a person. This is what we mean by mourning. And by now we know that Popova is a widow and her husband is dead. And about whom is she mourning? Now she is mourning, she is feeling sad about the death of a person. Whose death is she mourning? Whose death is she feeling sad about? කාගේ death එක ගැනද මේ mourn කරන්නේ? Yes, Putta? Husbands, yes, Isurika and Deva, correct. She is mourning about the death of her husband, right? And then we can see Popova is in deep mourning and has her eyes fixed on a photograph. Now, if we have Popova like this, I'm going to erase this. And if we have Popova like this, she is wearing black actually, right? Wearing mourning. She's wearing black. And she is looking at a photograph, right? She is looking at a photograph and she is sort of feeling sad and grieving over the death of a person. So whose photograph this might be? Yes, whose photograph can this be? Kaage photograph එක වෙන්න ඇද්ද? Her husband's, yes. Dulana and Desirika, Chamada, Sachinda. Yes, correct. Her husband's. She is looking at the photograph of her husband and she is mourning and she is crying. So what sort of a person do we see Popova to be? Yes, what sort of a person? Sensitive, okay, Pavani. Sensitive, what else? Deva, I also think that you are saying sensitive. Sensible means buddhimatne. Sensitive is the word that you should use. What else? She is very emotional. She is crying and looking at the photograph of her husband. So she seems to be very romantic, sensitive as well as emotional. Popova can be seen as an emotional young woman. And there's another question which I need to ask from you, that is, if she is looking at the photograph of her husband and if she is grieving over her husband's death, do you think that she loves her husband or do you think that she hates her husband? Love or hate? What do you think is there? Let's see. Photograph එකක් දිහා බලාගෙන අඬනවනම් දැන් මැරිලානේ. මැරිලා photograph එකක් දිහා බලාගෙන අඬන. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මෙහෙම මම මැරුණා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. Imagine that I died. And then you look at my photograph and you cry. You will never do that, I know that. But still, imagine that you look at my photograph and you cry. Then Sachinda, yes, love. There you can see love. So here we feel like, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure, but we kind of feel like Popova is sort of a loving wife. We feel like that is why she is looking at the photograph of her husband and crying. Now, when we look at this image of Popova, wife looking at the photograph of her husband and crying, when we see this image, we kind of feel like Popova is a very faithful wife. පුතේ faithful කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අර මේ ලබැඳි කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ මේ loving only one person. That is what we mean by faithful. විශ්වසනීය, ආදරණීය, ලබැඳි කියන්නේ අන්න එකමයි faithful කියන්නේ. So when we look at this particular image, when we see this particular image of Popova, we kind of feel like she is a loving and faithful wife. Okay, so let's point that out. Popova seems to be a loving and a faithful wife. Loving and faithful. So that is what we can see about Popova. And here this is sort of the complete image of mourning. A complete image. There is a beautiful wife who hasn't gone out for a long time. She is looking at her husband's photograph. So this is kind of the perfect image of a loving wife. Right, so we will point that out also. Complete image of a mourning wife. She seems to be a wife who is totally or completely in mourning. And then we can see Luca is haranguing her. Haranguing means with her speaking. Luca is speaking to her. Luca is speaking to Popova. And then we'll see what happens. This is what Luca says. It isn't right, madam. You're destroying yourself. Now Luca says that hey, what you do is not right. You are just destroying yourself. Why? We'll see why. The maid and the cook have gone off fruit picking. Now Luca says that maid and the cook, they have gone off fruit picking, and here the fruit picking is considered as one of the joyful activities, right? Fruit picking. This is the time where the time of harvesting, actually, right? This is a time of harvesting, and people are so happy because they are able to get the harvest back to home, right? So this is a very enjoyable and happy period for all the people except Popova, right? Except Popova, all the people are rejoicing. All the people seem to be happy. Every living being is rejoicing. All the people who are alive are becoming happy. They are rejoicing. They are feeling happy. Even the cat understands how to enjoy herself. Not only human beings, not only the people in the household, but also the cat in the house knows how to enjoy herself. So how is she enjoying herself? Walks about in the yard. She is walking in the garden. Catching midgets. Midgets mean small insects. Midgets, small insects. She is walking in the yard, catching small insects. You know that cats do this in order to enjoy themselves, not because they are hungry, but because they like to play. Cats used to do these things. If you have cats in your houses, you might have seen these things. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කියන්නේ catching midgets. Now there, what Luca wants to suggest is that what Luca is telling is that only you are the only person who is feeling sad. All the other people in the household, even the animals, they are feeling happy. And here, Buddha, what Luca is suggesting is that please be happy yourself. When all the other people are happy, and you also must be happy. That is what Luca says. Only you sit in this room all day as if this was a convent. Now you know that Buddha, in a convent where nuns are there, nuns are in a convent, usually nobody comes out or nobody usually goes in. So because they have dedicated their life to the God, and they think that they are serving the God. Therefore, once they go into a convent, usually they don't come out. They are not having sort of relationships with other people. So what Luca says is that we are also living like, or you are living like you are in a convent without going out. You are living a life of a nun. Without enjoying yourself. And don't take any pleasure. You are the only person in this household who is not becoming happy. All the other people are enjoying themselves, but you don't. You are not enjoying yourself, which is really bad. Okay, now here, Buddha, we have to discuss about the attitudes of Luca towards his mistress. Mistress means master feminine form mistress. So Popova is the owner of the house and Luca is a servant. But you can see that Luca is advising his mistress or Popova to go out and enjoy herself. So what sort of a servant is Luca? Is he kind of a caring and loyal servant? Or is he sort of a very angry and hateful servant? What do you think? What do you think about Luca at this moment? Okay, Pavani, Deva, caring, Deva says loyal. Yeah. Tivanka, Surika, Pavani, Deva, Sachindra. Yeah. All of you mentioned that he seems to be a caring and loyal servant. Yes. So here we can see that Luca needs his mistress to be happy. He is very sympathetic about her. He doesn't want to see his mistress become so sad. So we will write that down. And that is a very important thing you have to remember about Luca. That he is a very faithful and loyal servant. Right? Okay, let's write it down. Luca is an old person who gives practical advices to Popova. Practical advices to Popova. Now you know that Luca is an old person. So when people get old, what do they get? Miss Vice යනකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට මොනවද ලැබෙන්නේ? කියන්න. ඕගොල්ලෝ එක වසරේ හිටියට වැඩිය දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට මොනවද ලැබිලා තියෙන්නේ? Good. Malisha, experiences. Lot of experience, yes. Now, when you grow old, you get a lot of experiences. Very good. So, so many of you have told me that answer. Knowledge about society. Yes, Deva. You get good knowledge about society. You get so many experiences. Yeah. Now, when we think of these two characters, who are these two characters? Popo and Luca. Luca is old. Luca is old. Therefore, he has more experiences about the society than Popo. Right? Even though Luca belongs to the lower social classes, when we think of these two people, Popo and Luca, Luca is the person who has got more experiences because of his age. Luca is old, therefore he has gained a lot of experiences. Now, with that experience, Luca knows that Popo is not behaving in a sensible manner. Then he says that, yes, really, I reckon. Reckon means think. I think. Reckon means think. I think it's a whole year that you haven't left the house. Hey, I think almost an year you have not stepped out of the house. And here what Luca is trying to say that is, you should enjoy your life. Say now you are a young person, therefore you will have to enjoy your life. That is what Luca wants to say here, right? And we'll have to. We have mentioned that Luca is old and Luca has lots of experiences and all that. And we must say that with his experiences about the world, Luca tries to convince. Luca tries to convince. Convince करना क्या मतलब एक गाना में क्या है? Luca tries to convince his mistress to enjoy herself. And also, you can see that Luca does not like his mistress to be sad. He is looking in on a campaign. That is why I have told you that he is a loyal servant. He does not want to see Popo sad, but needs her to be happy. Needs her to be happy. So Luca needs Popo to be happy. Okay, so let's move on to Popo's part. We'll see what Popo says. She says, I shall never go out. I'm not going to go out ever. I shall never go out. Why should I? She asks from Luca, why should I go out? My life is already at an end. Now Popo says that my whole life is I think that my whole life has ended. Why? Because my husband is dead. He is in his grave. Grave means sohona. Now he is lying in his grave. And I have buried myself between four walls. And now Popo says that my husband is buried in his grave, and I have buried myself in these four walls. My husband also cannot come out into light. Therefore, I'm also not going to go out into the light. Now, husband is dead. He is in darkness. And Popo says that because of that reason, if my husband cannot come out to the light, I will also not go. I will also not enjoy myself. My husband cannot enjoy myself because he is dead, and I will also stop enjoying myself even though I can. මට enjoy කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණත් මම ඒක කරන්නේ ඇයි? Because I love my husband. That is what Popo wants to mention. I have buried myself between four walls. We are both dead. Now, when you think about Popo's husband, he is literally dead. Actually, he is dead. But when we think of Popo, she is metaphorically dead. Why? Because she is not enjoying herself. Actual death and imaginary death. Actual death and metaphorical death. Now, Puta, when do we say that, my God, there is no life for me from now onwards? In which occasions do we say something like that? අනේ දෙවියනේ මගේ ජීවිතේ ඉතින් මට මොකටද නේ එහෙම කියන්න මොනලාටද when we lose what kind of people අපිට මොන විදිහේ කට්ටිය නැති වුණාද අපි කියන්නේ කියන්න බලන්න I don't think that you have these sorts of experiences because you are still young, but you have seen in films and TV these sorts of things. When you lose certain kind of people, okay, close people, valuable people, yes, very close ones, yes, loving, yeah. When you lose loving and close people in your life, you mentioned that your life is also at an end. And my life is also at an end because this person died. Either my mother died, or my father died, or my lover died, or my husband died, my son died. Because of those things, when these sorts of loved ones are dead, we feel like our life is at an end, or there is no purpose in our life. So here, Popo also wants to say that. Popo also wants to say that because of the death of my husband, since my husband is dead, I don't have any purpose in my life. So she suggests that her husband was the purpose. Her husband was the joy in her life. Please remember that. Keep that in mind, right? Because if you have read the story, you might have seen that when the story unfolds, she is behaving in the exact opposite manner. But here, in the exposition of this drama, when the drama is introduced to us, we kind of feel like Popo is a very faithful and very loving wife. So that is what we can see in this situation. She is a very romantic person. Okay. Here she says, I shall never go out. Why should I? My life is already at an end. There we can see that she is a romantic and an emotional wife. Popo is a romantic and an emotional wife. The reader or spectator tends to believe that tends to believe that she is a faithful, true, and genuine wife. And genuine wife. This is what people believe about Popova. Okay. And then what happens? So here we have Luca's character. Okay, then we have Luca's character. He says, well, there you are. Now it seems that Popova has this sort of beliefs since the death of her husband. And therefore Luca says, there you are, Unedited. Nikolai Mihailovich is dead. And now your husband, this is the name of her husband, right? Nikolai Mihailovich is the name of her husband. Therefore, he says, well, there you are, Nikolai Mihailovich is dead. Well, it's the will of God. That is God's wish. We can't stop that. That is God's will. Now he is dead. And may his soul rest in peace. Luca is wishing the soul the soul of Nikolai Mihailovich to rest in peace. And he says that you've mourned him. Mourning means with the feeling sad. Earlier also we have discussed it. Feeling sad about the death of a person. That is what we mean by mourning. You've mourned him. And quite right. You have mourned him. You have felt sad and you have grieved over his death. So that is totally okay because you are his wife. And when the husband dies, wife has to mourn it. Definitely wife has to become sad. If there is a loving relationship, then the wife naturally will get sad or grieve over the death of her husband. Husband ke මරණය නිසා මොකද කරන්නේ? දුක් වෙන එක හරි. And that is what Luca says. But you can't go on weeping and wearing. Here puta wearing means wearing black. Here wearing means wearing black. Then now when we think of our culture, right? When we think of Sri Lankan culture, if a person died, imagine that one of my parents died. And I would wear sort of light color clothing to come to school. These days we don't have school. But if this was a time period where we had school, and if one of my parents had died recently, like yesterday or the day before, then when I come back to school, I would not wear very colorful clothing. I would wear something which is white, which is not colorful at all. Something usually white. So that is our culture. So using or by our dress, we are representing how sad we are. We are representing that we are grieving over the death of a person. Then when we go to school, if we wear something which is white, I like the color white, of course. White and black, that is sort of two of my favorite colors. And when I wear white color saris to school, all the people flock together and then they ask, hey, so white represents a Malagada. White represents a funeral in our culture. So similarly, in this culture also, wearing black represents that you are feeling sad. Then අපේ culture එකේ සුදු පාට ඇඳගෙන ඉන්නවා නම් funeral එකක් හරි මොනවා හරි sad situation එකක් කියලානේ කියන්නේ. ඒතර ඒ culture එකේ black ඇඳගෙන ඉන්නවා නම් එතකොට ඒක sad. Usually in our culture also, our Catholic and Christian culture also, they have this wearing black. මේ black color wear කරන එක තියෙනවා. අපිට ඉන්නවා යහන්න කෙනෙක් දිලාන්. මේ ඕගලන් මලගෙවල් වලට black ද ඇඳගෙන යනවා. ඕගලන්ගේ ආගමේ කට්ටිය. This is the Dilan, just tell us something. ඔයගොල්ලන් usually මම අහලා තියෙන විදිහට නම් black තමයි අඳින්නේ. දැන් අපි සුදු කොඩි දානවා වගේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මොන හරි funeral එකක් වුණාම කළු කොඩියනේ දාන්නේ නේද? cross එක තියෙන. Dilan, I'm asking you a question.
කොඩි.
කළු කොඩි දාන්නේ. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කළු දඳින්නේ.
එහෙම වැඩියම ගන්න සුදු අඳිනවා. يعني වැඩි අර තදබල. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කළු තමයි.
කළු තමයි. නේ ආයෙක තමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක තමයි culture එක එතකොට. නේ in that society, in that religion, that is the culture. So here also in this religion, in this culture, in Russian culture also, that is the same. Right. So how the Luca says that wearing and mourning forever. Now Luca says that you cannot go on doing things like this. Now you are not going out, you are just wearing black, and you are keeping on mourning, but you can't do it forever. So there we can see that again he is trying to convince Popova to be happy, because Luca is a person who does not like to see Popova being sad. Luca doesn't like to see that because he is a very faithful servant. Right. And then okay, so we will write something like this. We have already written that Luca is faithful and loyal. Here you can see that Luca is sympathetic about his mistress, right? Luca is sympathetic about his mistress because he feels sad about the fate of Popova. Popova's fate again. She is a young woman, but at a very young age, she has lost her husband. Because of that, Luca is very sad. Luca is sympathetic about the plight of his mistress. He is trying to convince Popova to be happy. He is trying to make Popova enjoy her life. Popova is not enjoying her life, therefore Luca tells her that you must enjoy your life. So we have been talking about Luca's character, and we have done half of his dialogue. Now it was simple කරන්න. My old woman died too. Now here my old woman means Luca's wife. Right now Popova has lost her husband. Then Luca says that I also lost my wife. I also lost my wife. When her time came, my wife also died. Now, when your husband's time came, your husband died. Well, I grieved over that. Grieve means mourn, feeling sad. I felt sad over that. Right? I felt sad over my wife's death. I wept for a month. Now, because my wife died, I wept for a month. Now here, how the name Luca's wife. Luca's wife, and Luca wept for 1 month. Right? And Luca says that for my wife, weeping for 1 month is more than enough. හොඳටම ඇති එක මාසයක් මෝන් කරන එක. නේ උත්තර මේ මාළක අවුරුදු ගානක් මෝන් කරන්නේ ඒ මනුස්සයාගේ වටිනකම නැහැ කියලා කියනවා. Luca says that my wife died and I have wept for her. I have grieved over her for just 1 month. And that's enough for her. For her, for my wife, mourning or grieving for 1 month is okay. It is enough. But if I've got to weep for a whole age, if I must weep over my wife, if I must weep over the death of my wife for a whole age until I die, that is so foolish. Well, the old woman isn't worth it. My old woman is not worth it. She's not that much worthy. She's not worthy for me to weep over her until I die. For a whole age. She's not worth it. Now here, you can see that why Luca is telling all these things is because he needs to convince Popova that you're mourning over the death of your husband without enjoying yourself, without going out. That is so unreasonable. That is not practical. That is what Luca wants to mention. And here you can see that Luca has some sort of another cynical attitudes about his wife. He's sort of kind of not insulting but sort of humiliating his wife. He's sort of cynical. We'll write that down. Luca seems to be cynical about his wife. Cynical about his wife. Luca seems to be cynical about his wife. This is C, C-Y. C-Y-N-I-C-A, cynical. Cynical about his wife. Okay, and then and also Kuta, you can see that Luca needs Popova to be happy. And that is why he is telling all these things. Maybe not because maybe not because Luca hates his wife, but because he needs to make Popova happy. That is the reason why he is telling all these things. That is why he is trying using or making so much of effort to make Popova happy. So we will write Luca. Luca is trying his best to make Popova happy. and enjoy her life. And enjoy her life. He's trying his best. He's trying his level best to do that. Okay, and sighs. Like that. He sighs. You've forgotten all your neighbors. Now Luca says that when your husband was alive, you and your husband had a good relationship with your neighbors. But now, after the death of your husband, you have forgotten about them. You don't go anywhere. And you see nobody. You are not going out or you are seeing nobody. You don't talk. You see nobody. You receive nobody. We live, so to speak, like spiders. Now, what Luca is telling me is that you are not going out, you are not talking with neighbors, and you will not let neighbors come and talk to you. You are living in this or within these four walls. You are not even going out. You have lost your social life. That is what Luca says. You have lost your social life. And also, he says that we live like spiders. Now, Buddha, tell me, where do spiders live? Are they living in dark and gloomy areas or gloomy places, or do they live in bright places where there is a lot of sunlight? Yes, what do you think? Spiders? Dark, okay, dark places, yes. Isurika, Tikshana, Chamudra, Pulana, and Deva, yes, dark places. Usually, spiders live in dark places. And Luca wants to mention that we also live like that. We don't go out and we live like spiders. So there you can see a simile. So we will write like spiders. We live like spiders. Near that part you can mention that it is a simile. This simile suggests that they don't go out. Enjoy themselves and enjoy. It suggests that they don't go out and enjoy. So that is what Luca mentions here. Then, and never see the light. Luca says that we never see the light. We don't go out. The mice have eaten my livery. Here, the livery means not. When you look at this word liver, it feels like that is one of the organs in the body, but it is not. Right here, livery means not liver. Here, livery means a servant's costume, a uniform. Usually, servants wear these uniforms during parties. Right, when there are parties in a household. The servants in that household wears these costumes or wear these uniforms. They are called livery. And Luca says that his livery has been eaten by mice. That means for such a long time, there were no parties in this household. Can you suggest when nature you parties තිබුණා සෑහෙන කාලෙකින්. හරි so there Luca says that, or Luca suggests that there were no parties. There were no parties or entertainment in Popova's household. Since the death of Popova's husband. Since the death of Popova's husband. Okay. So that is what she wants to mention. There were no parties. That is why she says that she is not going out and she is not receiving anybody and such like things. Okay, and then moving on to the next part. It isn't, Aguta, are you still writing? If you are, raise your hands. If you are still writing, raise your hand. No one? Okay, so I'm going to erase this. It isn't as if there were no good people around. Now, if you are living in a neighborhood where the neighbors are not good, neighbors are honda natta. You will not be able to associate with them. That is true. But here, when it comes to Popova's neighborhood, when it comes to Popova's background, there are so many good people. There are so many good neighbors. It isn't as if there were no good people around, for the district's full of them. Now Luca says that this whole district is full of good people. Therefore, you could have gone out and enjoy your life. You could have gone out and kind of maintain your social life. That is what Luca is suggesting. That is what he is advising Popova to do. Right. So here again, we can see that Luca is trying his best to convince Popova to go out. Now, Buddha, when we think of these two characters, when we think of Popova and Luca, even if Popova goes out or not, it doesn't matter to Luca because Luca will get paid even though Popova goes out or even though Popova stays at home. But still, he is advising Popova like this because he cares about her. Popova cares about this young woman. Not here, caring means not like as if a lover, but here caring and loving means they have this very good master and servant relationship. Popova and Luca, they have a very good master and servant relationship where the servant cares about the master. This is something rare. When we think of the master-servant relationship, usually servants don't like their masters. But here in this case, Luca loves or Luca cares about his master or his mistress. Okay. Then moving on. There's a regiment quartered at Riblo. Riblo is a city, a town. So how the Luca says that there is a regiment of soldiers who have quartered. Quartered means stayed at Riblo. Then මෙතන පුතේ this is sort of something which were happening in countries like Russia and England. There are regiments of soldiers. They roam from one city to another city. And imagine that they have come to your city or your town. Then they would be arranging some parties, and young women can go there and enjoy themselves. Those kinds of things are there, right? These kinds of things are not there nowadays. In the present, we don't have these sorts of things. But in the earlier times, in the ancient times, they had this custom. මේ custom එක ඒගොල්ලන්ට තිබිලා තියෙනවා. Because in several books I have seen these things. I have told you that when I was doing my advanced level, we had done the novel Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and that is based on England. And in that book also, there we could see that there was a regiment of soldiers who had quartered at that certain place, at the certain village, and there were 4 girls, and the youngest girl, Lydia, had fallen in love with one of the soldiers in that regiment. So that sort of a story was there. That is actually not the main part of the story, but that was kind of a minor part. So in that story also, this regiment of soldiers, this idea of regiment of soldiers were there. And here also, in this drama also, you can see that they make it a regiment of soldiers තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් මොකද කරන්නේ? කට්ටිය තැන් තැන් වලට යනවා. තැන් තැන් වලට ගිහිල්ලා එතන ආරක්ෂාව බලන ගම ඒගොල්ලන් මේ එන්ජොයි කරනවා. හරි, ඒ කියන්නේ පාටිස් තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ බෑන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා. බෑන්ඩ් එක ප්ලේ කරනවා. මේ තරුණ ගෑනු ළමයි එක බලන්න යනවා. ඔය වගේ ඒගොල්ලන් ඩාන්සර්ස් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා. හරි. So what Luca says is that in Riblo there is a regiment of soldiers who have quartered there, who have stayed there, and Luca is suggesting Popoa to go there and enjoy herself. And the officers are such beauties. Beauties means handsome. The officers in that regiment, they are so handsome. Now he is sort of persuading, or we'll say making or trying to make Popoa go there. Yeah, that is what he is trying to do. He says that the soldiers or the officers are so handsome, they have to just go. They just go and enjoy your life. Now here, Puta, what is Luca trying to suggest in this particular situation? What is it trying to suggest? ඇයි මේ කියන්නේ යන්න ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාලා ජීවිතේ එන්ජොයි කරන්න ඒ ලස්සන හැන්සම් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා ඒගොල්ලන්ව බලන්න. එහෙම කියලා කියන්නේ ඇයි what is he indirectly saying? මොකද මේ indirectly කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඔයා තරුණයි ඒක නිසා මොකක් වෙන්නේ කියලාද කියන්නේ මොකක් කරන්නද කියන්නේ? No idea. Enjoy your life. Okay, what else? Yes, Isurikane, start a new relationship. Yes, Sachindane, you can marry again. Yes, Pavani. Marry again. Yes, Prabhashini. That is what Luca is trying to suggest. Good. You have got the clue. You have got the hint. But Popo hasn't. That is the problem. Methala, Luca is trying to mention, or Luca is trying to tell Popoa, just go and enjoy your life. You are still young and you are beautiful. So you can marry again. You don't have to waste your life like this. Just go out there and enjoy. Even if you don't think of marriage, just go and enjoy your life. You enjoy your life. That is what Luca says. And there we can see that he's quite practical. And Now what happens here? Officers are such beauties, you can never gaze your fill. Gaze means with a look at something. Gaze your fill at them. Now Luca says that these soldiers are so handsome that even if you look at them for a long period of time, you will not be satisfied. You will not be contented. That much beautiful these soldiers are. And these soldiers are so handsome, and you can go and enjoy yourself, because even if you look at those soldiers maybe for 2 hours, you won't be satisfied because they are that much beautiful. Okay, so that's it. That is what Luca asks his mistress to do. And every Friday, there's a ball. Ball means party, and there's a ball at the camp. And every day the soldiers' band plays. Am I lady? Now each and every day the band is playing, and each and every Friday there is a party. So just go there. You just go there and enjoy your life. Okay, now there you have to mention that Luca is suggesting to start another relationship. Which might lead towards marriage. Which might lead towards marriage. Here we can see that this is a practical advice. Okay, then moving on. You are young and beautiful with roses in your cheek. So what is meant by roses in your cheek, Buddha? Does Popova wear rose flowers on her cheek? Rose madhakak me ganga lalavagan inna. මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ roses in your cheek? What is presented by that? Yes? He dances. Red and beautiful cheeks. Okay. Color and beauty of the skin. Yes. Yes, good. So here we can see using these roses in your cheek. That is sort of a metaphor. Using this metaphor. Right. So you have to mention metaphor. Right? Metaphor. What is he trying to mention? Beauty and young age of Popova. Beauty and young age of Popova. හිතන්නකෝ පාටි එකකට එනවා අවුරුදු 85ක 90 විතර ආච්චිකම. හරිද? ඒ ආච්චි ගාවට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ අනේ ආච්චි මගේ කම්මුල් දෙක හරි රෝස පාටකේ ගිහින් අර අපි පොඩි ගාලට කරන්නේ මෙහෙම කරන්නේ ඒ වගේ ගිහින් කරනවද? නේද? හරි චින්තන්නේ එහෙම කියලා. Would you do that? කම්මුල් දෙක මෙහෙම අරලා වනේ හරි cute ආච්චි. එහෙම කියනද අපි? ආන්සර් එකක් දුන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉතින් කියන කට්ටිය තමයි. Surikakina never do. Yes, no. Dulana. Yes, no. Sachinda. We don't do that. Because when you grow old, what happens? Even though that grandmother was a really beautiful person in her young age, after she has become a grandmother, with age, she loses that beauty. Here, if Popo is seen as a person who has got roses in her cheek, it represents that she is beautiful as well as she is young. Okay. Roses in your cheek. If you only took a little pleasure, so I would ask you to take a little pleasure, not to marry, but just take some pleasure. Just go and enjoy yourself. Now look at this advice. Beauty won't last long. Even though you are beautiful now, with age, what will happen? You will lose your beauty. In 10 years' time, you will want to be a peahen yourself among the officers. Now, peacock means monarani, peahen means the feminine form. So, Luca says that now you may not want to enjoy yourself with those officers, but maybe in a couple of years, maybe in 10 years, when you want to attract the attention of those people, of those soldiers, you will be too late. You will be old by that time. Now imagine that Popo is 19 years old. In 10 years time means she is like 29, in her late 20s. She would be too old. She would not get the attention or the attraction of other people. There are young women out there. Now the situation is different, of course, because now kind of the marriage age has kind of shifted towards 30s. 30s පැත්තට shift වෙලානේ තියෙන්නේ. But in these times, it is considered that a woman should marry at the age of 16, 17. Otherwise, she will be considered as too old. Too old. So here, Luca says that even if you want to become a peahen, here want to be a peahen means attracting or getting the attention. Right? Attracting the attention. We'll write that down, otherwise you will forget it. Getting a wanting to be a peahen means getting attraction. Even if you want to get the attraction of those officers, you will not be able to do that. But they won't look at you. Even though you want to get the attention, they will not look at you. Why? What is the reason that they are not going to look at Popo Aputa in 10 years' time? What is the reason? සමවුරුදු 10කින් එයාට attention එක කට්ටියගේ attention එක ගන්න ඕනේ වුණාට කවුරුත් එයාට attention එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි? What is the reason? Yes, Chamudya and Pavani. She will be old. Yes, Pravashi. Sachinda. Yeah. She will be old. She will not be able to get the attention or attraction because she will be old. With time, the beauty fades. She will not be able to get the attention of young men. Because by that time, she will have lost her beauty she will be old. and she would be old. Because of these things, because of these reasons, nobody would even look at her. Okay. Then Popova says, with determination, with so much of determination, Popova says, I must ask you never to talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about it. You know that when Nikolai Mihailovich died, life lost all its meaning for me. Now, Popova says that when my husband died, I have lost the meaning of my life. So my husband was the meaning of my life, and after his death, I have no purpose in my life. I vowed, I promised, never to the end of my days to cease. Cease means stop. I have promised never to the end of my days to stop to wear mourning. For the rest of my life, until I die, I will wear my mourning dress. I will wear these black color clothing, or black color clothes, black color mourning clothes. I will not wear colorful things, or I will not enjoy myself, because I love my husband so much. That is what Popova says. Or to see the light. I have promised myself that I will never go out to see the light. You hear? Now this is important. Now in the first half of this Popova's dialogue, we have seen that she seems to be the perfect image of a perfect wife. A perfect image of a perfect wife. Why? Because she says that she loves her husband so much that she doesn't like to enjoy her life even. She would wear or she would grieve over the death of her husband until the day she dies. මරණ දවස වෙනකම් මම මගේ හස්බන්ඩ්ගේ මරණය පිළිබඳව ග්‍රීව් වෙනවා නේ, දුක් වෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒක ගැන සිහි කරනවා කියලා කියනවානේ. හැබැයි බලන්නකො මොකක්ද ඊළඟට කියන්නේ කියලා. Let his ghost see how well I love him. Let Nikolai Mikhailovich's ghost, ghost dakinda then how well I love him. Yes, I know it's no secret. Now this is important, no? And yes, I know it's no secret to you that he was often unfair to me. Now here you can see that Popova is talking some negative qualities of her husband with Luka. Now, if you really love someone, would you talk about weaknesses or negative traits of a person with someone else? If you really love a person. No. Yes. Not even husband and wife. Husband and wife think of two friends. Now, if you really love your friend, if you really think that you are a very good friend of the other one, then you would never go and talk ill about your friend with another person. If that happens, that means you are not a good friend. We have mango friends here. හිතන්නකෝ කවුද ඊළඟ සෙට් එකක් පවනි සචින්ද චමුද්ද කට්ටිය ඉන්නවනේ. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන් ගිහිල්ලා 10F එකේ හරි එහෙම කාගේ හරි පන්තියකට ගිහිල්ලා අම්මෝ සචින්ද නම් මෙහෙමයි අප්පා යන්න එපා වෙනවා. එයා මාරෙක් කෙනෙක් තමයි අපිට කොපි කරන්න හෝම්වර්ක් එකක්වත් දෙන්නේ නැහැ එහෙම කියලා දැන් එයාගෙන වැරදි කියනවා නම් are you a real friend? නවුත? No, you are not. You are not real friends. Never. Here you can see that this is husband and wife. They may be husband and wife. And here you can see that this wife is talking ill, or this wife is blaming her husband who is dead. They married Then, I don't know whether it is good to tell you this sort of examples. Then, Mangala Samaravira, yeah, Marunani. හරිද? එතකොට මංගල සමරවීර දැන් මැරිලා නිසා අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අය නරක කියන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඇයි මැරිච්ච මනුස්සයට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් we don't blame. That is how we were learned. How that is how we were taught by our parents and the society. After the death of a person, you usually don't blame that person. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මේ රාවිකුණපු මනුස්සෙක් කාසිකුණපු මනුස්සෙක් හරි මරුණා කියලා. එතකොට මලගෙදර දවසේ කට්ටිය ඇවිල්ලා අර මේ මයික් එක අරගෙන එයාගේ වැරදි කියන්නේ නෑනේ මේ මනුස්සට හොදක් වෙන්න කොයි මනුස්සන් නිවේම යන්න ඕනේ එහෙම කියන්නේ නෑනේ නේද? සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි මේ ආහාරි පින්වන්ත එහෙම කියලා මොන හරි බොරුවක් හරි කියනවනේ. Now here you can see that even though her husband is dead, Popo is blaming her husband with Luca. servant. So do you think that Popo is such a loving and faithful wife as we saw her earlier? We saw that she was loving and faithful earlier in the first page. In the first part of this drama, we have seen that she was a very faithful wife. Now we can see that she is blaming. Yes, she is not a faithful wife. She is pretending to be one. She is actually in competition with her husband, with her dead husband. She wants to prove that she is the best person. She wants to prove that she is the best person who loved the best. That is what she wants to prove. Now here we have less than 1 minute, and when this meeting gets over, you have to kind of come back for maybe a couple of minutes. Because we have to write something here. Popo's love. Popo's love. Okay, we'll start again. So I know that you have some other classes as well, but we'll try to finish up this one real quickly. Right, so I have been telling you about Popo. Popo is not the faithful, loving wife that the reader thought her to be. We thought that she is really a faithful and loving wife, but she is not. Reader thought her to be. She is sort of in competition with her husband to prove that she is the best. She is in competition. This is sort of a competitive love. She is in competition with her husband to prove that she is the best. Out of the two. She needs to prove that she is the best. Out of this Nikolai Mihailovich and herself, she is the best. She needs to prove that. Okay, let us go see how well I love him. I know it's no secret to you that he was often unfair to me, cruel, and even unfaithful. Popova says that sometimes my husband was unfaithful to me. That means even though he was married to me, he had some other relationships. He had relationships with other women. So therefore he was unfaithful. But I'm not that sort of a woman. That is what Popova says. But I shall be true till death. I'm not going to be a person like that. I shall be true to my husband until I die and show him how I can love. I'm going to show my husband how well I can love. There, beyond the grave, he will see me as I was before his death. Before his death, I was a faithful wife, and after his death also, I will be a faithful wife. That is what Popova says. Popova tries to prove that she is the best person out of these two people, Nikolai Mihailovich and herself. She needs to prove that she is the best. She is the person who loves the most. She is the person who is the most faithful. She is the person who is loyal to the other person. That is what she wants to prove. But later on, when you read the story, you might see that this determination of Popova is sort of breaks down at the end of the drama. So there we can see that even though she tries to be, what is that? My God. Even though she tries to be a faithful person, okay, even though she tries to be a faithful person, she is not. Here actually she is pretending. She is pretending to be faithful. Because she is in competition. If you are in competition with your lover, then your love is not a true love. Your love is sort of a pretentious love. We'll write that down. Popova's love towards her husband is pretentious. Towards her husband is pretentious. And this is not a true love. That is what we can understand. Okay, so we'll continue the rest of the drama the next day. Right, and I hope that all of you would read this drama and come to the class the next day. This is not even though this is a bit of a long drama. Podi dialogues there are very short dialogues. පොඩි ලයින්ස් එකේ 3 4 වගේ වනේ තියෙන්නේ. එකම එක page එකක විතරයි ටිකක් දිග එකක් තියෙන්නේ. Therefore it's ready. It's easy to read on. අමාරු නෑ චුට්ටක්. හරි. Then we would stop the class for today and I can see that teacher will be conclude. No, teacher is here, no? Right. So you can go to your class now and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.